Hey everyone, welcome back to another Jabberwonkie's Garage, and today I'll be reviewing the Traxxas Rustler VXL. This RC car is a two-wheel drive powerhouse. This thing can go to incredible lengths of speed. If you've seen the last video that I reviewed, the JRB Cheetah, that thing was going around about 80k per hour. Now this thing goes 115 k's per hour, but there's only one way I can do that, by running a 3-cell battery. And the 3-cell battery I run is the exact same battery that I use for my Cheetah. So this battery is a 4000 milliamp 3-cell battery, and it, well, at the moment has the wrong adapter on it for the type of car and battery that the Traxxas Rustler uses. So then you're thinking, well, that's not very good if you can't plug it into the car and use it. But I've got this tiny little adapter that changes it so I can plug one end into the battery just like that, and now I have got myself a battery that can be plugged straight into the car. Or I can kind of turn it down a little bit and do a 2-cell battery. Like, don't get me wrong, this is still an insane speed for running 2-cell, and this battery I bought from Hobby Habit just up the road from my place. This battery is a 5200 milliamp hour battery. It is 7.4 volt and it is LiPo, just like the other one, well, except for the voltage. So now on to the actual car itself. It comes with the Traxxas telemetry TQI receiver. This receiver has a great range on it. It runs 2.4 gigahertz and it is manufactured by Traxxas themselves. It comes with a switch on the back for turning it on and off, throttle, so pull it back for throttle, push it forward for brake, and steering left and right. It's also got 2 trim knobs on it, and you've got a switch here that changes it from 50-50 to 70-30, which means at 50-50, it's 50 to go all the way back and the other half to go all the way forward. On 70-30, it changes it so it takes 70% to go back and it only takes 30% to go forward. So it's a bit more brake handy and it takes away some of the sensitivity of this car, but I rather use it on 50-50, only because then I can touch the brake and get a nice bit of reverse. So the car I am using and the type is the Traxxas Rustler VXL Rock and Roll Edition. All this means is that it comes with a special type of body. This body is amazing. Well, in my opinion, I love it. It has colours down the sides, has black over the top, and it has a nice spot up front for a GoPro mount. You can also plant one right at the back here, and it came with a spoiler, a little one that bolted on 3 points at the back there, but I decided to take it off, only because every time I'd flip it, it would get hit and it was starting to splinter, and it would have snapped off sooner rather than later. So this hood is really quite dirty because I've taken it down into mud, just like I did with my Cheetah. If you haven't seen that video, I'll put a link down in the description for that one, and it's also in this playlist. So this shell has saved me on multiple occasions. As you can tell, the back has taken the most beating. You've got this through here on either side that has been worn down to nothing, and this in the middle that has been torn. Like, not just a little tear through, but as in you can fit the entire back pin through that entire spot. So I'm due for an upgrade on a shell or a new one, but this has lasted me over a year now, and it is a great shell. So the next part is the electronics. The Cheetah VXL comes with the Valenian VXL 3S capable ESC and motor, and they're both from the Valenian range, and the motor connects to these two rear wheels, which means that there is little to no friction. It runs smoothly. You can't hear a thing when I spin it, except for once you start to engage the motor. You've got a gearbox attached to this back plate here, and you have a full back hook here, and that is solely for a massive motor guard. And that is when you've picked up the pace and it's starting to roll forward and you're scraping the tail down. So this bit of plastic doesn't seem like much, but it is great. Instead of having you scraping your $150 motor along the ground and slowly destroying it every time you pull a wheelie or a flip, or even just crash it, it's just a little cheap bit of plastic that is easily replaceable, and you can either get it like this, which comes with it, with the car, or you can buy the wheelie version, which comes with a slightly larger one of this, and it bolts, and the wheelie bar bolts to this top bit and this bottom pilot hole slot. And that sticks out here, and it's fully adjustable, so you can have it so it raises a bit more, all the way to about here, where it's nearly scratching the back of it anyway. So yeah, it's a great thing, and the receiver box is fully waterproof, and it sits here with an O-ring to protect it from any water, and all your cables come out here, which is also protected from another O-ring. You've got your small antenna that sits nicely underneath the hood. You can buy an upgraded version which sits about here, and you'd need to drill a small hole in the shell for it, but I think for my purposes, just going down to the oval, doing a couple dirt tracks, maybe doing a couple jumps and flips, I don't need any more range. But feel free to upgrade it. It's simple. You just pull this top bit out, and there's your wire, your antenna exposed just there. And then you just slide it back into this little hole here. You slide the antenna guard over the top, and it just fits in place, just like that. Super simple, but super effective. So this car is telemetry capable, which means that you can have sensors for the battery, for voltage, battery life. You can buy a GPS system that tracks its speed, where it is, its distance, and it can all be fed back to the actual controller itself, and a little Bluetooth chip that fits in the back here. I haven't done it yet, but I am ready to do it, but I just don't have the money for it at the moment. But other than that, it's a great car, but I would recommend 3 upgrades. That is the rear shock tower. This thing was made of plastic, and it, to be honest, wasn't that strong, so I upgraded to a metal version. And the same with the front shock towers. I was buying the rear shock tower, and I thought, why not buy the front shock tower, because it was on special, and it looks really nice now with this pinky orange. It's taken a bit of a beating. It's got a bit of dust to it, but other than that, it's been great. And the front shock tower comes with a carbon fibre front axle or guard thing. I don't know what it's called, but feel free to leave it in the comments if you know what it's called. You've got your battery compartment in this middle bit that slots underneath the ESC, and it's got a nice foam padding at the back, so it's nice and secure. You have 2 towers over the top that you can put a battery holder over the top of it, and yeah, And the other upgrade I'd recommend is just to get 2 slightly stiffer shocks for the back. Only because at the front I've got quite loose, which is really nice for handling. It can steer, it goes quick, it's fun. But when you've got the back bouncing down, hitting the ground so hard from such high jumps, I like to give it a bit more resistance before it bottoms out. So I've opted to go with 2 Joby Cheetah shocks, and they fit perfectly on the back here, and they've been amazing. I've never had a single problem with these yet, and they just sit on exactly where the original stock shocks were. Everything else here you see on the car is completely stock. The servo sits underneath this front plate here, and so yeah, I hope you enjoyed my extensive review of the Traxxas Rustler VXL brushless version, and I hope to see you in the next video. If you like this video, please like. If you didn't like it, well, there's the button next to it, and if you really enjoyed it and would like to see more, consider hitting that subscribe button, and don't forget to hit the bell so you get notified of my next upload.